Welcome everyone to episode 510 of the Daily Mother Sleazy, the Daily Swole, the most muscular swolecast in the realm. Because you see these biceps? You see that shit? You see that fucking shit right there? Stop texting me when I'm making gains. The most muscular swolecast in the realm. When I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps, and that's why this is the most muscular swolecast ever in the world.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
And like, what is going on? Why was I a little bit late today? What's this background? This is weird. This is the porch, and I actually have not. Obviously, I've been walking around. I have not been home since the storm. So right here, just FYI, this is all blinds, it's all hurricane shutters. I have not been home since the storm. So I just got back this morning, and I thought I could make a run to Publix, because before I left for the storm, took everything out of the fridge. I took everything from the butter to the olive oil to the vinegar. I took everything out of the apartment. What's up, Javier? Justin, what up? What up, fam? Casey, what's going on, broski? Yeah, so I took everything out of the fridge. I took everything out of the fridge when I went north. So there's nothing. So I came back. I'm like, you know what? It's 11 o'clock. I got time to go. I end up getting involved with food because I haven't eaten breakfast. And I got a little excited. So I kind of did a little too much shopping. I got back and I'm like, there's nothing to do. I don't know where to do the show in the house. I don't have my lights. The air conditioning wasn't on. It's hot as balls. Yo, like sweaty. And these, check this out, these hurricane shutters have bars. Where is it? Right here, like vertical bars I put up, just for integrity. But I couldn't find the screws, and it was, things were getting crazy down here in Florida, so there were no screws for the supports at the top. So I used like metal wire. So I was gonna cut these things down and get some sun in here, because there's probably some, who knows what kind of freaking funky molds going on down here. What's going on, Jack? Danielle, welcome. So, so I'm just kind of like standing here like, what up? What up? Let me see if I get some better lighting. It's even grosser over there. Yeah, so these shutters are nothing to write home about, nothing fancy. Today's episode, this episode is titled, Don't Forget Where You Came From. So there's a couple aspects to this question. And I figured maybe I'll actually take you guys up there to pull one of these things up, maybe at the end. The funny thing is, like, just watch me, like, die on live broadcast falling over the edge. So, not that cool. So I kind of thought twice about it. It's like, I don't want to end up on the fucking news. Not forgetting where you came from. And I want to mention this because it's not just sing the national anthem. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean, sing the national anthem? You guys are weird. Some of you that watch this show, it's like you're watching a whole different broadcast. You come in, it's like, show us your nips. Sing the national anthem. Like, what does that even mean? Anyway, so today's episode, not forgetting where you came from. This is a little bit fitness, a little bit personal, and it's a little bit everything. So let me just turn this a little bit because it's kind of bright. I'm getting backlit. All right, I know you're messing. Oh, say can you see by the sick fucking games, getting yoked like it ain't no joke, Everest and K2 flexing on you. Done. See, yeah, never mind, right? See, you don't want that shit. All right, so not forgetting where you came from. And think about your fitness journey. Think about, where you are in your life right now, right? And a lot of like the most successful people, whether it's business, whether it's fitness, they never forget. I'm just going to do this a lot to make my point. I'm just going to clip. They never forget where they came from, right? So like, let's say you go from broke to making millions of dollars, and then people still go back to the community, like they're still grounded. Like you know those people that get, turn their nose up, they make a lot of money, they're successful, and then they're fucking assholes, right? And then you have people that never forget where they came from, like The Rock, for instance. One of the best proponents of social media and what that is, and what, going from the bottom to stardom, and still, touching base and remembering where he came from and respecting that journey. That's why he garners so much love and support, because of that staying grounded, right? And a lot of that comes from either you're an asshole to begin with, or you're not an asshole to begin with. So a lot of people are just assholes from the beginning, all right? A lot of people are just assholes always. It doesn't matter how much money they have or how much family they have or this and the other. But also it comes from, or also I want to talk about in terms of your fitness. So if you're seeing progress, right? If you're seeing progress, or you've gotten to where you are today from A through G, right? You've done all those steps. You've done all those steps to get where you are now. Sometimes it doesn't take drastic changes. Sometimes you don't have to make drastic changes. Sometimes you don't have to do something completely different. And many of you message me asking me, what should I do? I've hit a plateau. And I've done episodes before. And we'll get back to the board where I do more episodes about when I show those graphs, right? I show the graph of progress. It's not a straight journey. I did a great episode with plateaus. I mean, Float Some Hearts. Did you guys see that? I know a lot of you were here for those episodes. The episode where talked about plateaus, right? That plateaus are only plateaus because they're relative to an incline or relative to a decline. You can't have a plateau just being flat. It's only a plateau relative to something else. It might look flat here in a small space, but when you blow up the map, it might be an incline, or it might be just the period before it shoots up and you see a lot of progress. A lot of times with fitness, we get stagnant for a little bit and then think it's going to take some shocking new some shocking new approach, right? Some shocking new overhaul to the entire system to see progress. All of a sudden we have to do swimming and running and HIIT training and all that, shit, instead of just sticking to the books and working hard and focusing on the daily tasks and working on our nutrition and doing it better. I think a lot of times we look for something different rather than what we're doing now and doing it better. What do you think about that? The free Rock Clock app? That's funny. That's what I want to do. I want to do a Swolenormous app where it's like, wake up, motherfuckers! It's Papa Swoleo, and I'm just like, flexing on you. Yeah, the change, and that's still change in itself. So what are you doing now? And maybe it's not that you need to do something different. Maybe it's that you just need to do what you're doing now, but do it better. Do it better. You don't always need change. And it goes the same with my stuff. I don't want to change too many things, because when things work, there's a reason why they work. When things work with fitness, there's a reason why they work. When things work with community, like here with all of us, there's a reason why it works. There's a reason why all of it works. Now, how can we do those things better? That's different. I'm not saying different. That's another story rather than changing. So improving is different than changing. And it's cool to search for improvement. It's cool to search for that next level. But when it's always constant change, then you kind of start aiming different directions. Like you're hitting the brakes, you're going this way, you're going left, you're going right, you're going forward and back. And a lot of people will tell you that as long as you're moving, that's better. Yeah, as long as you're moving, but it depends on what you're moving towards and what your goal is. Even small increments, even small movements are still movements. And as long as you're focusing on the right direction and you're hammering away and you're pushing, sometimes we just have to do what we're already doing and do it better. And getting back to my original point, remembering where you came from, you have to remember where you started. A lot of times, remembering where you started, remembering how you began. It's a birthday? Oh, it's a birthday. Lizeth, happy birthday. Happy birthday. How old are you, dear? How old are you? Everybody, happy birthday. Happy birthday flex for Lizeth. Lizeth? Oh, happy flex. Yeah, if you remember where you came from, at the beginning of that graph, at the beginning of it, where you were here, shit, it's nice. It's nice to step and look at the progress. And I can equate this to fitness, not just business and not just any other kind of graph like weight loss. But I found, sometimes going through old shit when you're moving, I found one of my old composition books where I used to log everything, all my sets and reps and everything, what the weight I was doing. I look back and I remember doing, it was like 20 pounds or 25 pounds, like dumbbell curls, right? 25-pound dumbbell curls. Here's an example. And I remember writing it down. I wrote like 8 reps and I wrote, fuck yeah, next to it, because I was really excited. And I'm thinking now, like 25 pounds, like I'll warm up with that. Like it's nothing. It's nothing. But looking back on it, that was a huge, overwhelming accomplishment. We get so used to where we are now. And we don't realize it. That's what it means to get used to something. We get so used to where we are now. And I still find myself, and I take it for granted too. And I apologize for that to all of you and even to myself, because I'll look at, and I'll look through some of the videos, and sometimes sometimes I get like, okay, I'll think, right? What do I need to do different for the show? What do I need to change? What do I need to, what do I need to improve? What do I need to do differently to keep it fresh, to keep all of you excited? Like, what do I need to do differently? And then I look back and I remember when I was doing the first few episodes and I would get 10 views, right? And no one was watching live, maybe one person or 0. A lot of times that number at the top where you see all the people watching, everyone here, all of you watching now, it was a 0, like literally a 0. So I still have to remind myself that, fuck, it was 0 at one point. And now it maintains at this, amazing number, which is great. And it'll get thousands of views a day, 1, 2, 3 plus, depending on who's watching live and, of course, what Facebook wants to show people. But you'll look back and the contrast, the same thing goes with your weight loss. It doesn't seem much to lose 2 pounds in a month. But if you still add, like, let's say you only lose 2 pounds in a month. Doesn't sound like a lot. A lot of you are going to get discouraged for that. A lot of you would get discouraged for that. You lost 2 pounds in a month. But what about in 12 months? What about in 12 months when you lose 2 pounds a month? And then it's 24 fucking pounds. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight to lose. And you get inundated with all these things. Like, people lose 100 pounds in a year. Some people do. Some people do. Some people lose 50 pounds in a year. Oh, but you're comparing, then you get into comparing yourself to others bullshit. But 25 pounds in a year is great. So even 2 pounds in a month is amazing. It doesn't seem like much. That's the thing, right? Let's say you go through an entire week and it feels like a lot. You're prepping your meals every day. You're slaving away. You got your kids. You're doing your workouts. Shit's going bad at work. And you get on the scale after a week and you see half a pound. You see half a pound. In that instance, it sounds discouraging, right? It sounds, oh, fuck, only half a pound? What am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? But then if you do that again and it's a half a pound the next week, oh, this isn't working. Fuck, I give up. That's a pound in 2 weeks. That's exactly the pace I just described. In 12 months, that's 25 pounds. Would you, if I told you right now, you're gonna lose 25 pounds, do you wanna lose 25 pounds? Float some hearts. If you're one of those people watching, do you want to lose 25 pounds? Yes. Does that scenario sound exciting to you? No, but it's what you want. And if you're doing this fitness thing and if you're investing in yourself for the rest of your life, isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a good target? Isn't that reasonable? That's a reasonable outcome. If you're trying to get it for like 3 months, like I gotta cruise in 3 months, I gotta look sexy. Well, that's a bullshit goal. That's a bullshit goal. You're probably not gonna stick to fitness after, and you're probably not gonna get to where you want anyway because you have your short-sighted. But if you're changing your habits and you're changing your systems for the rest of your life, like you're focusing on like, okay, I'm gonna be a different person, I'm gonna focus on what I'm doing today to be successful in the long run, then it doesn't matter if you lose 25 pounds in 6 months or a year, because you're changing this lifestyle for the next 40 years. Like until you die, like this is the way I'm gonna be forever. I'm gonna change and try to improve myself and work on the daily forever. It doesn't matter what the time frame is. Like that weight's gonna come. That's my point. Your picture is gonna look different. And I'll use one more example. One more example. Let's say you do, all right, float some thought, hit the share button like anyway. This is a good share to mission. What about those of you that have seen, maybe you've done it, you know those painting classes where you go to one of those like, group painting sessions, you set up, you've seen it, right? Like on Groupon, or you've gone to it yourself, where everyone has the same canvas, right? And you got 10 people in a room and they're all painting. And someone's explaining, oh, you put the bird here, trees. You ever see those pictures afterwards? It's like, paint and wine. It's like those little social gatherings. So you go and you do that, and you're sitting with your friend, you're painting the trees. No, put a bird here, you put a fucking bird there. Like, oh, put a deer here, you put a fucking deer there. And at the end, everyone's like, hey, look what I did. It's like, it's fun. There's no competition, but everyone's picture looks different. Same fucking picture. Trees, bird, deer. Some people have a deer where the antler's really big. Some people have a big deer, a small deer, the trees are crooked. The whole point is everyone's picture is the same. It's the same thing. It's a picture of the same thing. Let's say it's weight loss. Let's say you're trying to draw a picture of 25 pounds. You know, the analogy here. But everyone's picture comes out differently. It's trees, it's deer, it's a bird. But some people look, you know, it'll look different. Your 25 pounds might be 3 months. All right. Your 25 pounds might be a year. Okay. Yours might be 6 months. Yours might be 9 months. Yours might be 2 years. Because there's always going to be those up and down things. So my point is, don't forget where you came from and how much progress you've already made, even mentally. Even if you started 3 months ago, let's say you started watching the Swole and you haven't really seen, you're still struggling with your fitness training, right? You're still struggling with your weight loss. You're still struggling. It's been 3 months, but your mind has been shifted. You're thinking about things differently. That's a huge change. Sometimes those wheels got to spin a little bit before it catches. So don't forget where you came from. Don't always look to change things. Sometimes it's as simple as doing the same things better. And sometimes you just got to go back to the way it started. You got to go back to your roots and remember why you started in the first place, right? So for me, I want to remember. I want to go back a little bit. I know it hasn't been that long, but I want to remember. I want to feel why I started this to begin with. I don't want to start getting skewed in another direction. I want to take it back to the roots in many ways. Okay? I've been having plans for a couple weeks to bring some of the best content back because maybe, and here's the reason. Sometimes there's a good time for everything. Okay? Certain products that launch in society, you might have, 5 years ago, if a product launched, it didn't work out, maybe it was too early, it wasn't the right time. But then 5 years later, they launch the same product and all of a sudden it catches like wildfire, it goes viral. You know, like the fidget spinners, those might not have been a hit 10 years ago, but now they are. So there's a time for everything. And there are certain things I'm gonna be doing and integrating back into my premium community that I did a long time ago that I think is gonna be fire now. There are things I'm gonna be doing on YouTube, going back to that I think is gonna be great now. And just things that I'm gonna feel great about. And this community that we're all creating together, that's always been my focus. And I'm not trying to, and I wanna come back to that. So I'm coming back to my roots again, mentally, with a different approach, with the right approach. But sometimes you just have to take a step back and remember. You know, take a step back and remember why you started. So your fitness journey, as much as I'll think about my fitness journey and the brand, think about your fitness journey. Think about why you started. Whenever you get discouraged, think about why you started in the first place. Take a step back and look at how far you've already come. Step back and think about, are you really doing everything, what you're doing now, are you really doing it well enough? Do you have to change everything drastically, or do you need to really buckle down, be honest with yourself, and realize that you've been fucking up and not putting 100% effort in? You just gotta do what you're doing better. Or do exactly what you're doing and do it longer. There's a lot of different ways, right? There are many different paths and many different ways to be successful. And the question is, do you have the perspective and do you have the relative understanding of where you came from in order to bring upon this new change without changing things, if that makes sense, okay? So focus on your goal, go back to the beginning, go back to your roots, remember why you started. Don't always change things, try to do what you're already doing better, because it's very simple. It's very simple, okay? The things that you can control are the only things that you need to control. You can control what you put in your mouth and what you do with your body. That's all you need for fitness. And luckily, that's all that you can control. So focus on that, and a lot of the other things fall into place. So don't overcomplicate things. Go back to your roots, realize where you came from, do what you're already doing, but do it better, and keep on pushing. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 510 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you for joining me for the most muscular Swolecast in the realm every day at 12 noon Eastern time. Catch all the episodes on YouTube at Swolenormous. Remember, podcast. SoundCloud and iTunes. Type in Swolenormous, and you can get all this on audio every damn day. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Snapchat too, but definitely follow me on Instagram and Instagram stories and message me. Hit me up here on Facebook, leave me a review, do all that stuff. Just peruse the channels and don't be afraid to reach out. And that's a big thing here, and I'm gonna close with that. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy all this, please leave a review here on Facebook, leave a review on iTunes. I really appreciate it if you haven't done that yet. And send me a message. This is not one of those fitness channels where you pump out content and trying to make a quick buck. This is not one of those things where I am not accessible, okay? I really want you to hit me up. I want you to ask questions. So feel free to message me, DM me, hit me up here on Facebook, reach out, because I do answer. And those of you that are watching, you know that I do answer. And a lot of people don't even bother because they think, oh, he's busy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not one of those fucking airheads that's full of themselves, that's just trying to, sell you a fucking supplement. So make sure you message me. I'm here for you. We're all here together, okay? So I'm here for you. That's why I'm doing this. So peace out, peace McGee's, deuce Magoose. Oh, yeah, if you've sent me a message and I responded, fucking drop a comment. Because I think a lot of people don't reach out because they feel like they're just gonna get, shoveled under the bed. And it's absolutely not true. So love you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah. I almost stabbed myself in the face. I'm gonna get these things open. I'm gonna stop sweating balls because I'm dripping out here. I'm like in a sauna. So love you guys. Peace out, and I will see all of you tomorrow for 5/11. I'll see Premium probably a little bit later today. Oh yeah, tonight. Oh shoot, before I leave. Tonight, workshop. That's right, workshop in the Premium community. Link is in the profile, premium.swolenormous.com. Workshop tonight. It's the title, Papa Swolio Systems, the systems of Papa Swolio, which means I want to kind of go back to square one. All this stuff about movement compensations and glutes and shoulders and nutrition. I want to really talk about the framework, the mental approach. I want to talk about the equipment that I use, what I have in my gym bag, the foods that I eat. I kind of want to give a little bit of brief overview just to kind of compartmentalize everything like that I do in a box for all you premium members. So I really want to go back and give you all a great starting point. So if you're thinking about what equipment do I use, what do you need to get in shape, the mental approach you need to be consistent for 15, 16, 17 years of training, it's not easy. It's not easy. And like how I think about things when I'm bored, when I'm burnt out, how I keep going. And I really do shift gears in my mind in order to keep me fresh and to keep me consistent. I don't always think about training the same way. If I'm feeling a little more burnt out, I shift gears and I think about it differently and I stay consistent that way. And I'll explain why. So so make sure you, if you're interested, trust me, if you need to start, if you're just starting now, I would hook into this workshop. It's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch it anytime later, but join in live because it'll be very interactive tonight. I want to do a lot of Q&A too as well. I'll get the board out so I can write it out and explain. I'll probably bring my gym bag in and kind of dump it out on the table and we could all get into it together. All right, love you guys. See you tonight at 8 p.m. for the workshop. Remember, links in the profile, and see everyone right here in the larger Swolenormous community for 5/11 tomorrow. Peace out.